Recording, Maddie. Thank you. Love wins by the Stewarts. We are not much tardy today. We're only 7 minutes tardy from 7 o'clock. Good evening. How you guys doing? Love wins by the Stewarts. I'm your host, B Level. Hold on. Okay. Holding. Got a great show planned today. A great podcast episode planned today. Tune in. Please share our live. And also, when you get on here, please give us a wave so we can shout you out, just to let you know you're on our live with us. You don't have to say anything. Just give us thumbs up, give us a wave, and let us know that you are here. We're live on your computers. Are you ready? Beautiful. All right, here we go. Love wins by the Stewarts. I'm your host, B Level.
I'm your girl, Netta.
And welcome to our podcast. This is episode number 5. Last week, we had Miss LaTanya Austin Honorable on. It was a little bit different because last week we tried our first Zoom streaming on Facebook, and we didn't do it. I didn't know how to do it right, but since then I've polished up my knowledge. And the next interview that we have, we will be able to stream it live. So hopefully you guys did vote. We were talking to LaTanya Austin Honorable, and she was wanting you guys to go to the poll and vote for her as she run her election for a judge seat, a Pulaski County judicial judge. Hey, baby, something different, I see. Last week you had a head full of hair. This week you're going with your short, wavy, platinum. Y'all like my wife's hairstyle? Y'all like it? Let me know if y'all like our hairstyle. I love it. I love every style that this woman wears. I love the braids. I love the short hair. I love the black. I love the platinum. She has the perfect round head. That's for sure. That is for sure. How y'all doing today?
I have Easter candy.
It's old. It's old, right?
I have Easter candy. Trick or treat.
All right, so we're streaming live on all of our Facebook pages. Shanetta Stewart, yes. Brian Stewart. I'm also streaming live on my IG page, my Instagram. Please go to, if you want to hear the podcast, you can go to any podcast streaming source and search for Stewarts, Love Win by the Stewarts. Or if you want to see the video, you can go to YouTube after we finished taping this. It will live on YouTube under Brian Stewart Sr., Brian with the Y. All right. What about sponsors, Shanetta? Tell them how. Okay.
I'm chewing.
Chewing? Okay. So sponsors, if you would like to be a sponsor or a guest on our show, you could inbox myself or you could inbox my wife on Facebook or IG. If you have questions for us to talk about, you can also do the same thing. We have an email address do you ever check the email address, babe? Mm-hmm. Okay. So what's the email address?
Stewart.lovewins@gmail.com.
Stewart.lovewins@gmail.com. Shout some people out on my IG. I got DJ Drewster on here, official _J South. I am, is it True Mama? That's what that is. And UNNOZ, is that how you say that? You too nosy
30.
Okay, all right. Darrell, I see you there. All right. So please, if you're on our Facebook Live, if you're on our Instagram Live, please give us a wave so that we can shout you out. We want our podcast to be very interactive. So please join into the conversation. We've had tremendous success our third season. Mm-hmm. Our podcast is really trending very well. Thanks to you guys. Thanks for letting share our Tuesday. Today is Wednesday. We didn't do it yesterday because the wife and I had a graduation that we had to attend. Shout out to Maurice Jr. He graduated from North of Little Rock High. And so we're running a day late, but never fear. We are here. Don't fear. We are here. Mm-hmm. So today we had a viewer to email in, and I want to make sure. I'm going to let you explain the question since the question was sent in to you. I'm going to let you talk about our first question, our first topic.
We have 2 topics. Which one you want to do first?
Do the one that you're talking about, the going out. The
Oh.
one that the lady was talking about going out.
Yeah, is there a such thing as being in? Hold on. When I say that, I guess nightlife. Is there a such thing as being out or being in the nightlife too much? Can it be exhausting, especially for those that are in relationships, that are married? Is there such thing as going out too much? That's what I mean when I say going out. Like, of course,
To the club.
yes, if you're
Parties.
if you're in a type of nightlife, like if you're, and also, is it a little biased? Could it be that it's really frowned upon when women do it, but not so much as men? Is there a sense of biasness to it, or is it just equal?
And so you're saying that a guy, if he's looking for, will a guy want to date a woman? If
That's club hopping all the time.
that's every time you go out, you see this woman. She's at all of the events. She's at all of the clubs. Or vice versa. If you're a guy, would you, vice versa, if you're a woman, would you like to date a
Hey,
guy that's
Robin.
at all of the, who are you speaking to?
Robin.
Oh, hey, Robin. Would you like to go out and date somebody that's always out in the club? A little backstory. I met you at a club.
We were not at a club.
Where were we?
Like
We were at a club.
Red Room. It's not a club.
So I think that you think because it's in the River Market that it's not a nightclub. Is that the reason why you say
It's not a nightclub. It's an event center.
It wasn't the Red Room either?
Well, Cornerstone. Well, yes, it was.
It was not.
Wherever Successful Sundays were downtown. Where were they?
Ernie Biggs.
Same thing. They're
So-
all in the River Market.
And so you're thinking that Ernie Biggs is not a nightclub, or
No.
wasn't a nightclub because it's gone now, right?
No, it's an event center.
Okay. So for the people that frown upon saying that you cannot meet your future wife in the club, or you should not want to date someone who always, hey, Aunt Retta, how you doing? How you doing, Aunt Retta? Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
Oh, Lord.
For the people that say that you cannot find your significant other in a nightclub, I beg to differ.
What?
I beg to differ. I found my
That's
wife.
two parts. Those are two parts. We're
Okay.
not talking about. There's two parts to this. So
Okay.
the first one of the topics will be, excuse me, where do you go to find a mate? And so we will talk about that in a latter part. There's two parts. So that's one of the questions, and then the other one is there a such thing as being in the nightlife too much? It's like, is that a thing? Like, is there a thing that for men and women both, do men tend to not want to date women that are easily accessible? Someone can see every time they go out and hit a place. Would you rather your person be more discreet, more private? Same with women. Like,
Right.
would you want your guy to be out all the time, to be just accessible in just the nightlife scenery, or, it really doesn't matter? In my opinion, I found that it looks a little bit more distasteful for women. Men is not too much of a thing because, I think men really kind of use going out as a sense of being with their friends, being with their guys, having a couple of drinks, listen to some music, whatever. And it's not as frowned upon as it is with a woman. Like when women are
That's
out,
a double standard is what you're saying.
it's practically, I guess, a double standard. But when women are out consecutively, it's like, I don't want anybody that I can just, whenever something is happening, I can go to this place and I know this person's going to be there. There needs to be some exclusivity, in my opinion.
Right.
So that's what I mean by that. So there's two parts. We hadn't got to the second topic. Your topic was more or less about
Where do you go?
meeting people, basically places you meet people. So we're not talking about that part yet. We got to get to there later.
So I think that if you are going out, guys or girls should want people who are not easy accessible. They should want, and that's everything in life. You want the car that everybody else can't afford to have. You want the clothes. That's why these high dollar purses and clothes are, very in demand. You want something that nobody else can have, right? So if you're always at the clubs and the parties and the bars and the taverns and the events, the live music, the whatever, you're more than likely are going to be easy accessible for someone to try to holler, to try to talk to you. I will say, most men, I I typically I wouldn't want someone that every time I go out, I see this person in the club. But that also means that I'm like that too, because I'm there. Every time I go out, I see her, then that means I'm going out too much as well.
No, that's not.
That doesn't?
I think
She may have been there some nights that I didn't go, is what you're saying, right?
Possibly. I think it's a double standard. As I said, I don't think it looks. And here's another thing, too. So it's so weird because men that are in the entertainment industry would rather see and or date a woman that's not just go out as often. And it's so weird because you would think because they're in the entertainment industry and they're already out and they're in this nightlife, that they want to have a mate that would do the same. But I found that when men, whether it's an entertainer, so whether you're a promoter, you're a club owner, you're a musician, you're a performer, you don't want to, most men I've seen want their main person to not be seen all the time. Like, I don't really know. I guess I learned a little bit early. And then, I kind of told this story before. Like when I came on the scene here, I was like, dang, I was kind of going out consecutively. And then someone had to tell me, hey, you're kind of new on the scene. Don't go out so much because people are starting to question who you are, what you're about, blah, blah, blah. So just chill on it. And it just gives a different aspect when you're out at everything. Stay at home.
So why were you out so much then? Why were you going out a lot at the beginning?
So I was newly divorced. I was separated, and at some point I feel like it was almost like a newfound freedom, but it got very old because, of course, with myself, like I was kind of partying and doing things a little bit early age anyway, so that stuff kind of got old.
Yeah.
And then in my opinion, at a certain age, it gets old anyway, because at this point we're going to the club and we're going out someplace, and now I got to come home because my hair smoke all in my head. I'm probably going to drink a little bit more because I'm trying to go out and have a good time. So now I got to get up to go to work the next morning. And now I have to try to, rehydrate myself so I can have myself together. I have to. So it's just too much. I just think that as a woman myself. So let me just say this. Hey, Dee Dee.
Dee Jones.
As a woman myself, I don't want I don't want to be that accessible to people. I don't want people to be able to say, man, I already know when I go on Shooters on Thursday, I'm probably going to see Shanetta there. Like, no, you ain't going to see me there. And here's another thing, too. I don't want people to know where I am all the time anyway. I do not want people to know where I am because, listen, I have enemies. So
You have enemies?
I have enemies.
Really?
So people may try to pull up on me on some because they feel like they can find me any and everywhere. I just think at a certain point, at a certain time, at a certain age in your life, you should just chill. You know what I mean?
And you should take your pick and choose. Hey, I'm gonna attend this event on Thursday, or I'm gonna go to this place on Sundays, but I'm gonna chill on Fridays and Saturdays. Not, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I agree with you that when I was young, you kind of get played out with the nightclubs and just going out so much. Mm-hmm. But the older you get, you should grow out of that. And why am I talking about this? I own a nightclub. I should want people to come out every night. But, the older you get, the less you should want to be out. You don't want to be, for guys, you don't want to be that old man in the club, right? I mean, that you just don't want to be it. For a woman, I can name 2 or 3 people that I'm guaranteed to see every time I go out, and that tells me that person, and you if you're Facebook friends with them, you see that they're, even though you may be at home, you see that they're at this place on Thursday, they're at this place on Friday, this place on Saturday, another place on Sunday. So you just kind of get, okay, but sometimes people go through changes, right? Like you said, you went through a divorce. And so you were celebrating the fact that you were not tied down anymore. You were, you said, what did you say? You were celebrating?
Well, it was also at a very immature time. I was in my late 20, early 30. So late 20, early 30, I'm getting out of what I felt it was a long-term commitment because I was in a marriage, but I'm no longer in that. So that more or less for me was like, hey, let me just go out and have a good time because I don't want to have to think about what I'm dealing with. It was kind of that thing. And that was, I felt like it was okay with me because, again, I was in my late 20s. So I still had some youthfulness. At this point,
So there's an age.
There's a
barrier,
cutoff.
demographic,
At
yeah.
this point, we have grown children. So when I can walk into the club and my children are in there, I
It's too
probably don't
much.
want to be there.
So what's that age? Okay, so grown children. Okay, so some people have kids early, so their kids are going to be grown earlier. So what do you think is a legitimate age when a woman should settle down and not be seen all the time in the club? What's the magical age for a woman?
40 and over.
40.
40 and over.
That's a lot of flexibility. That's a lot of flexibility.
40 and over. When I say that, I mean continuously. Here's the thing. I love to go out to hear live music. I love live music. I go out to support. Outside of loving live music, I go out to support my friend. So Dee Dee's on here. So I go out to support her. And even in instances where I don't want to go out, but because I want to go support my friend, I'm going to go out. However, you're not going to catch me going to see her on Thursday, going to see somebody else on Friday, because there are so many other components in my life that I have to focus on, that being in the nightlife 3-5 days out the week it's too much for me. Like, I'm a mother. So I'm a mother with grown children. I have a successful career. I have a husband. I have responsibilities. I have things that I have to prioritize. So those things come into play at 40. Once a month or so, I do want to go out and hear some live music, or I want to go out and let my hair down or whatever. But even being married to you, I don't want to be in your club every time the door is open. I don't want to be in there.
So Aunt Retta is saying 30 is the magical age. I agree with Aunt Retta. You got a lot of, I don't know if people are speaking on the live, but I agree. I think
Thanks,
40.
friend.
I think 40 is too old. I think you should settle down as a woman. You should not be. I'm saying somewhere between 30 and 35. 35 is the cutoff where you're every day. Now, I do agree at some point in time, we were going out every Thursday. We did it for like 5 or 6 months. I'm like, damn, I like Dee Dee, but I don't know that I want to go out.
5 or 6 months. That's
5 or 6 weeks. I'm sorry, my bad. 5 or 6 weeks.
It's far-fetched.
I like Dee Dee, but damn, do we have to go out to see her every week?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? For 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on now. I mean, Dee Dee's cool, but
Well, if in sincere transparency, it had a lot to do with supporting her. But at that time, we also had this little friends group and friend circle. So it was more or less a supportive of, hey, let's just get this person out the house because they're having a hard time with whatever situation they're having. Yeah. So it was absolutely to support her. But it also there were other factors in doing that as well. So I'm just saying, like, sometimes here's what's so crazy. A few women, let me just say women, I'm not going to say people. The few women that I know that goes out very regularly or whatever, it's almost like they moving backwards. You know what I mean? It's almost like
I should have been doing it earlier.
Y'all should have been doing that shit a long time ago. You know what I mean? Like, y'all should have been want to get dressed up from Wednesday to Sunday 20 years ago. So it's almost like you're backwards, because at what point are you a mother? At what point are you, I don't know who this is. So at what point are you a mother? At what point are you a grandmother if you have grandchildren? How are you able to sustain such if you're out partying, kicking it all of the time? Like, there is no mystery to people seeing you or missing you, because they can find your ass for Tuesday through Saturday.
And so let's say this. I think guys would probably like the jump offs. Like, so, because we're always going to be true and transparent, you won't be serious about that. But maybe there are some guys that like to go out and meet some girls that because, if they're easy access, they might be a good jump off for you.
Here's the thing. You can be a jump off. But if you're a jump off and your ass in the club and he still don't take you home, stay your ass at home. If you go into the club with the intention of running into your little dip or whatever, and everything that you've done to make yourself vulnerable to him, and he still don't take you home, stay your ass at home. What are you going out for? What are you there? Because let's be very clear. Most times when women are going out consecutively or regularly in that manner, they're trying to place themselves in or around people that they want to be with, see, do the yum yum bouncy bounce with, whatever. But when you're in their hindsight, or when they see you and you're still not the choice for the night,
so you
done got dressed up for nothing.
So you think that every woman that goes out consistently are going out with the intentions of meeting somebody? You don't think that there are people that are just, hey, I just want to go out every night. I just like being out every night. I don't like being at home. I want to go out every night. Tonight I want to do karaoke. Tomorrow I want to go do.
No. Ain't that much. Listen, When you go out, it is the same. I don't care where you go. If you go to Electric Cowboy, if you go to Shooters, if you go to Empire, if you go to the Rev Room, wherever you go, the scenery is going to be the same. You're going to go sit down at a table because I don't stand up. So you're going to go sit your ass at a table.
We're not talking about you.
I'm
Everybody
just
don't
saying.
have the flexibility of getting a table.
Well, I'm sorry.
Okay.
But you're going to go sit down at a table. You're going to order a drink or two. You're going to listen to some music. Somebody in there smoking or whatever. So now you got smoke in your hair. You're going to laugh, kiki with your friends, take a picture, and then you going home. That's it. It is the same no matter which establishment you go to. So nothing, it's not like we're in Houston. It's not like we're in Atlanta where we have the Derby day parties or phone parties. It's not like we have different genres of things that's happening that's going to differentiate from anything else. Everybody doing the same shit. Everybody's doing the same thing. So, and I know I should speak in that manner because you're a club owner, but at the same token, it's like, there's no difference in scenery here in Arkansas. There's no difference in the scenery. So you're going out every day just because you want to be seen or you want to be the choice for the night pretty much. But if you're not the choice for the night.
It could be exactly what you experience. Hey, I've been married. I've been tied down. I'm not married anymore. I want to let my hair down. I mean, you were doing it. Now, you did say that you were much younger.
I was much younger
And
then.
so
Absolutely.
I guess our caveat here is you're saying over 40. I'm saying 35 for a woman. At 35, you need to be sitting down. If you ain't found him by 35, and I'm not like the Kevin, what is the guy that
Kevin
just,
Samuels.
I ain't like him saying that you used and you're not. But I will say this. Your choices are, it goes, the older you get, the choices are, you're limited with your choices. And so, if by 35 you haven't found anybody that you really like and that like you, probably the club is probably not the place you want to meet them, even though we met at a spot.
But it's what I'm saying to this. Hold on, because I think Krista just said something. And then Retta. And Retta did say 30. She said it's called growing up and mature. And Retta also said your thought pattern should be different. She said those are called booty calls. Crystal said, especially in Arkansas, it's too boring to be going out like that. It is like, man, listen, it's only so many outfits you can wear to go out someplace. Like for what? Like,
Hell, you buy one every time. You don't wear the same thing in the club twice. So you never run out of outfits. Because you just buy something every time.
Stay on my
That's
business.
another story. That's another episode.
Yeah, stay on my business.
Okay, but
you
go
know,
ahead.
people
Go ahead.
I already be
Go ahead.
on some other stuff. But most times,
What's
telling
up, Mrs.
you.
Smith? She said Mrs.
Hey.
S.N. Smith, my favorite couple on
Hey,
Instagram.
girl. Most times, as I said, women. Let me just say women. Women are, especially if you're dealing with liking somebody that's in the entertainment industry, you want to put yourself in their face because you want to be the selection for the night. Let's be very clear. Y'all in this industry, well, not you anymore, but y'all in this industry, y'all get a chance to have options to who's going to be taken for the night, right? And what's so crazy is that women put themselves in that seat, in that environment, because they know they want to be seen because they want to be the choice for the night. But here's the thing. If you're not the choice of the night after 3 times, stay your ass at home because you ain't going to be the choice. Just stay home. I have seen women literally almost wait till the damn lights come on in the club to see which one is going to be the one to go home with this individual for the night. Like, take your ass, the lights on. These people clean up. They clean up, they're sweeping the floors. Go home. What is y'all standing around here for? Because they want to, that is 100% of what it is. You're not, especially here in Arkansas, there aren't many things that's going to be different from each event that's going to make you want to go out every single night. That's retarded.
I don't know.
That's retarded.
I think that you can. True, we're not a big city as it relates to entertainment, but I think that there is enough options in the city that you can go and you can vibe with different types of crowds. You don't have to go to the same clubs. You don't have to be on the same part of town. You don't have to. For example, you might go this place on Thursday. You might go to the Electric Cowboy on Friday. You might go to
but they're not doing that.
What's the Discover on Saturday? You might go River Market on Sunday.
But that's not happening. Let's be very clear. As it relates to, let's use a genre. As it relates to live music scene has the same fans, same people. So if there's a live music show on Thursday, and it's another live music show on Friday, you basically already experienced a live music show on Friday that you did on Thursday, because all the vocalists, and I like and or care about most of them, but we're only so limited. So what are you missing?
But that's only if you're going to listen to, African Americans. You can go to different places that have,
But they're not doing it.
Are you talking about anybody specific?
I'm talking about everybody.
Okay, but
who do you know that goes from Empire to Shooters to Electric Cowboy to the Rev Room? Very rare do you find people that shares in different genres of events like that. It's very rare.
Typically, they're going to go to all the same black spots, or vice versa, all the same white spots.
Absolutely, yeah. And I like to, in moments of live music, I like to go out. I like to have me a couple of drinks. I love live music. That's just my thing. I like it. But I don't want people to be able to identify me every time the doors open. Like, you don't let people miss you. Like,
right.
when you keep, when you're
totally
continuously posting on Facebook, I'm here, or, you don't let people miss you. People
and
are just
stock
like,
is going down.
Yeah,
I'm telling
no
you,
man
no
wants
man
that.
don't want a woman that's out in the club every night. They just don't. They do not want, somebody that's out every night. It just doesn't work that way. What about men? What would be the age, Netta, for a man? Do you think a man should slow down? Obviously, there's a double standard, and you're probably going to say that it's older for a man, but you said 40 for a female. I said 35. So what age should a guy slow down and stop being in the club?
Well, maybe those ages need to change. So maybe not 40. I think 35, I would kind of agree with it. 30, 35 for a woman, I think it's probably around that range of that.
Right.
Because at this moment, especially if you're a mother, like if you're a mother, you have kids or whatever, that's something else. Even me, like, as I said, I like to go out and do it, but I also don't like people. I like the element of surprise. I like to go out and listen to live music, but I also like to be the element of surprise.
You want to say, oh, I ain't seen her in a long time. She's so cute.
I never want nobody to say, I just saw you last week. I just saw you yesterday.
So there are spurts of times where we do go out pretty heavily. Case in point, Shooters. About a month and a half ago, we were going out every week. But then we take breaks because we haven't been out probably in a month. We hadn't been out in a month. So getting back to the topic, what's that magical age for guys?
So
chime in.
I feel like men, of course, we say this all the time, and it is just said to be true. But I think men, they mature a little slower than women do.
I agree with that.
And whereas it's not fair, it's really not fair, but it's kind of the truth. It does not look so bad for a man as it does for a woman.
I agree with that as well.
You know what I mean? Like, people say all the time, like, oh, you just want me in the house barefoot and pregnant. No, I don't want you in the house barefoot and pregnant, but there are things that men can do and get away with that we cannot do, and you just have to be acceptable to that.
Right.
And so a man going out continuously is not going to be as frowned upon as it is for a woman, because men are just, it's just the thing. Is it fair? Absolutely not. But that's just kind of what it is. And so with them, I would even be comfortable saying 35, 40 for them, because their method to going out is just on some different stuff. And so, and what they do looks differently than it does for us as a woman. I just think as a woman, especially as a professional, as a mother, if you have grandchildren and you're a grandmother, like my biggest thing, we have 4 grown children right now. I don't want to walk in a club and see one of my kids. Like, when I walk in and see one of my kids, first of all, I don't want to party with you, because let's just be very clear. When you get to partying with your kids, boundaries are crossed. Like when you get to partying and kicking it with them and going out and taking shots and boundaries are crossed. And so I never want my child to step out the lane of, hey, I'm still mama. So now y'all acting like friends. So now and there's some so now we ain't doing it. So I just say, listen. We have a 26-year-old, 27-year-old now. We have a 19, 20-year-old. We have an 18-year-old. We have a 23-year-old. No, I can't do it. I don't know. So, I don't know. I'm just saying, I just want to let y'all know. There's nothing wrong with getting your girlfriends and going out and have a good time and let your hair down a couple of times. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes Brian and I are almost joined to the hip. He and I go out together. And the reason why we go out together, we have our own standings and reasons why. But most of it is that can't nobody party with each other as we do. He and I go out and have a good time together. If y'all ever see us out, we're going to be dancing, we're going to take shots, we're going to be drinking. It can just be he and I. But even with that, sometimes there's nothing wrong with saying, okay, babe, I want to just go out with, Judy or whomever, just have a couple of drinks and just kind of do brunch or whatever, or go out to hear live music or whatever with my friends. So there's nothing, I don't want y'all to think that I'm saying there's something wrong with it. It's some every once in a while. When I say regularly, 3 times a week is excessive.
Yeah.
That's excessive. That's really excessive. And then, someone would have the audacity to say, well, you in my business. No, you putting people in your business because you're just out here giving people a reason to talk about you. No matter what the circumstances are, you're making people want to ponder or wonder, why is she out so damn much? Like, why is he out here so damn much? What is going on? Like, what the hell what's the problem? You are making people question your character, what you're doing, because you just every damn where. Like, God damn, you're like my buddy. You just go everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just all over the place.
I will agree. It's like you said, it's not as unattractive for a man to do it as it is for a female. Mm-hmm. And even though I own a nightclub and I get paid on you going out multiple nights, let's say that. I think that if you're trying to be fruitful, if you're trying to be attractive, if you're trying to be wanted, if you're trying to be loved, if you're trying to be captured, you probably do want to, which limit, the times that you're out, mm-hmm. which brings me to the next question is, do you feel, Shanetta, that the older that a woman get, the less value in finding a partner? Vice versa, the older that a man get, I kind of feel like the older that a woman gets, the value, if she's trying to find or she's trying to have somebody to find her, the older that she get, the harder that is. As opposed to a man, the older that he's seasoned. A woman typically like guys that are mature and seasoned. What do you think about that? Do you think that the older, if you're single at 50 and you're really trying to find somebody, that the chances of you finding somebody at 50 is less than the chances that if you were 30?
I don't think so, because I think at that point you kind of you kind of know what you want and what's there. Like it's not hard. So in that case, as a matter of fact, I think you're when you become more seasoned, you can choose appropriately. So because by this time I'm single, maybe because I've got a divorce or we separated or my spouse passed away, whatever it is. I kind of, when I look for whomever I'm looking for or they seek me, I already know what I want. So we don't have to do all that.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm saying is divorce or something like that is different. If you're single, if you've been single and never really been in women that want marriage, let's just talk about marriage. If you've never been married at 50, what is the chances of getting married?
There's still a chance to get married.
No, mm-hmm. But do you feel like those chances are slimmer?
I don't think so. No, I don't.
See, I think that the older that a woman gets, the chances of her finding somebody that could be good for her narrows. I feel like for a guy, the older that he gets, it's more, because most guys are not mature until later. As you said, we typically mature later than a woman does. And so that's just my opinion. You got some comments you want to?
Yeah, so let's see. So Street says LOL. Chart lips are just Tank. What's up,
What up, Tank? What up? What up, Streets?
Tank also says, me and my wife out this weekend. He said we turned up like the levels. Listen, we party by ourselves. I'm telling you. Crystal says 35. So, Crystal, are you saying 35 and up for men? That was my age as well.
Or women, Crystal.
And then
Clarify,
hey,
Crystal.
Shanitra.
What up, Mrs. Lipsy?
And hey, Jeremiah. And then Yo-Yo says, I have a 32-year-old daughter. If I see any of mine, I'm gone. That's just, I don't see how they do it.
Happy belated birthday, Jeremiah. His birthday
was yesterday. Happy belated birthday. So in those that are on here, I know we're kind of veering, but are you, I don't know. Like, I just don't believe in, because let's be clear, My mom was a young mom, and she would have good times with us. When I say good times, she would come outside and play basketball with us. She would come outside and play football with us. You know, she would come hug on us and love on us and all this stuff or whatever. But we understood when there was a sense of seriousness. And so we also understood ain't no drinking in front of her. Ain't no kicking it with her because, again, those are lines that are crossed. I just don't think that. I think that men should be able to bring their sons or put their sons in an environment to know how to act in a nightlife. That's a little different. I'm not saying party and kick it with them. I am saying that even with that, it's a little biased because we took our son to the strip club for the very first time we went to the strip club, right?
Telling our business.
Yes, we took him.
Yeah, we did.
So anyway, we took him to the strip club, and I just felt like that. A father should take his son out and just say, hey, let me just go ahead and just kind of give you this little game on this. I just don't believe in mothers and daughters kicking it with each other. I just don't.
So it's different for guys, right?
Absolutely. Okay. I just don't believe in that. You know, you drinking and taking shots. We turning up. Because lines will be crossed. I'm just telling you, like lines will be crossed. And so rather than your child looking at you as a mother, now they're looking at you as a friend. So if there's something you have said and or done to them on some different stuff, now they feel like they can be disrespecting you because now we're kicking it. We're kicking it like friends. Like we ain't acting like mother and daughter. We ain't here turning up together. Don't do me like that. Like I just listen. We ain't doing none of that. I don't care about none of that.
JField3317 on Instagram said, not for a man, but the women are less patient. He also says, women are less patient, and they want
what they want now.
JField also said, older women are less patient and they want what they, okay, so he just specified what he said.
That's true. Yeah, but that's just kind of so going back. So talk to y'all people. Tell y'all people, listen, stay your ass at home. Stay at home.
If you're there every day.
If you just stay at home, because let's be very clear. I am telling you, the man or man that you're chasing or you're wanting to have something with, they frown upon that. No man wants to have a woman that's easily accessible. If you're accessible, I'm not saying sexually. I mean, if every time a person looking up and you're someplace, don't no man want that? Like, they don't want that because at this point, you're no longer an element of surprise. People understand. When you start to become a convenience or you become some instant popcorn, don't want to deal with you no more because anybody can see you and have some type of
talk to you, conversation with you,
anything with you because you're so accessible. Like, I never want to make myself accessible to people. Call me stuck up, call me bougie, call me whatever. I'm never going to let people feel like they can always be accessible to me. You just can't. That's an exclusivity of me. I'm exclusive when it comes to that. I don't want that. Don't do that. Tell y'all people to stay their ass at home and parent and work or clean their kids' snotty nose or something. I don't know. But just stay out the clubs. Just stay out of it so much. Like, Lord have mercy. Wow. Ain't nothing wrong with reaching out to your people. Like, if they out somewhere, ain't nothing wrong with reaching out to your people. Like, listen, when the club closed, if I want you to come by my house or something. That's fine.
You ain't got to be there.
You don't have to be there.
You have to be there.
But see, as I said, the reason why they have to be there is because they want to be the chosen one. The reason why they got to be there is because I got to be in your face so I can be the one that you choose to go home with. But listen, the downside to that is that most times y'all are not the chosen one. That's what's so crazy. They will bypass. Listen, I done seen it happen. There could be 3 or 4 of them waiting to be the option to be chosen for the night. And neither of them are chosen because they're in there with the BS. But the person that's at home texting him while he's at the club, that's the person that he slide through with. He don't pick nobody in the club. He don't pick neither one of y'all. He'll go slide through on the one that didn't even come to the club. Y'all crazy.
That part.
Y'all crazy. I just want to help y'all.
JField3317 say, boss up out in the club. LOL.
Ain't none of that. I'm just saying, listen. Y'all better tell y'all people. Okay, so listen. Jeremiah said, what's up, family? Thanks, family. Trinita says, hey, y'all. We enjoy each other's company just like the levels. Absolutely. Tanka says, we go out alone. Also the best way to be nowadays. Didi and Trinita just laughing. Like, listen. Me and this dude really do everything together. Like, in real life. Like, in real life, he and I can get in the car, go to Memphis, go to Dallas, wherever we want to go, and we can just party by ourselves. We don't have to have a group of people. we don't have, if y'all have seen us out together and we've had a couple of spirits or whatever, y'all gonna see us dancing. It's almost like we're in a room by ourselves because we don't need a group of people to have fun with each other. We just don't.
I always wanted that. When I was young, there was a couple, Danny Joe and God, what is his wife's name? I thought that was so attractive that when I would go to the changes, when I would go to the 50-yard line, I thought that was some cool stuff to be partying with your chicks. Most of the time you see a group of girls going out to party. Most of the time you see the fellas hanging out, and it's okay to do that. But I always wanted a relationship that I could party with, be cool with, be best friends with. Like, we really do vibe well together. We party well together. I mean, get you somebody that you can share all of those experiences with. I don't have to be, I don't want to go out with my mama because I don't want her tripping. I don't want her thinking who that girl is looking at you. I don't have to worry about all that when I'm out with Netta. But I just don't have to worry about it. One, she's confident in herself, and two, she know I ain't wanting for nothing because she handling her business. You understand what I'm saying? She handling her business. Next topic.
Didi says, so where do y'all suggest us single people go to find someone to kick it with?
To church. Take your tail to
Friend,
church,
when you go in there to
Didi.
have to do one of those funerals, just be scanning the crowd with your shades on. You know, you have it.
No, Didi, I think there are a lot of places. I'm not going to say, I don't think that Shanetta is saying that you can't meet somebody in a club. She's just saying don't be there every night. I think you certainly, hey, Didi, Shanetta and we met in a club. I think Ernie Biggs is the club. That's where I met her at. Now, true, we went on a first date somewhere else, but my first initial time meeting this woman was in the club. If I was on, I can't remember how old was I?
It was 10 years ago.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was 40. And so, that's
39.
where, 39. That's where I met my wife at. So she's not saying you cannot meet somebody in the club, but what she's saying is don't be there every night.
I'm saying don't nobody want anybody that everybody can have access to. And so, of course, I don't want you guys to take that literally. I don't want you guys to literally think that I'm saying that accessibly means that they can get with your body physically. I'm saying accessibility. No one wants... and y'all be saying I'm stuck up anyway, so it don't matter. The reason why I can be an element of surprise is because I just don't be out on the scene like that. My husband owns a nightclub, but I'm still just not on the scene like that. So most times if somebody see me, they'll say, hey, what's up? I ain't seen you in a while, blah, 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 whatever. Yeah, that's on purpose. Like... I want you to have an opportunity to be able to miss me and I come back on the scene or I stay off the scene or whatever. But to just be doing it like, listen, and especially, let me just say this. There is a thing as a pick-me chick. I'm not cursing because Bishop Robinson came in the bank the other day and said he was watching it. But men that are in the nightlife, and correct me if I'm wrong, don't like a pick-me type chick.
But is this is not just about men in the life. What about the average person?
I think the average person, listen, because here's the thing. In going somewhere your day to day, you can meet somebody day to day by being at work, by going to the grocery store, by whatever. The nightlife entertainment thing is a totally different world. That's why in our podcast seasons, we've talked about having more entertainers on here that has mates and spouses, because it's a whole different world. It's a whole different type of thing. And so because I've just been around it for so long, I so happen to know and or feel what those men like, what you guys like and your dislikes. Like, I knew from the very beginning you didn't like a woman that goes out all the time. To go out all the time. I knew that from the beginning. So I'd already kind of calmed down from that then, but I want people to be able to miss me. Like, I want people to be able to, like, damn, I ain't seen Shanetta in a long time. No. Not like, okay, I just seen Shanetta Tuesday. I saw her Thursday, too, and I saw her. Man, listen, first of all, I don't have that many clothes for y'all to be seeing me. I don't have that much clothes for me to be wearing for y'all not to see me wear the same thing. I said to wear the same thing. I don't have that many clothes for you guys not to see me wear the same thing.
Okay.
On the scene. I'm talking about, like, on the nightlife scene.
Okay. All right.
I don't wear the same thing pretty much on nightlife scene either, but I'm just saying, like, I just want to help y'all. So, okay.
Second question.
What?
What's your second question?
The second one was...
It's what Didi asked.
Didi.
Yeah.
Didi said... She just said something, too. She said, hell no. Tank says, me too, Level. That's why we first cousins. He was talking about us kind of being able to kick in and go out together and have fun.
Right.
Didi says, hell no. Hell no. We told her about finding somebody at church.
Church, Didi.
Crystal says, I met my boo in a club, too, 5 years ago.
Crystal.
See, that's dope. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Dee says, oh, absolutely. She says, I agree with that. When I'm not performing, I do go support my artist friends, but I make sure I'm not at everything. And that's the thing. That's the main point. Like, if you are around, if you have friends, quote unquote, if you have friends that are comfortable with going, here's the thing. If the only commonality that you have with your group of friends and acquaintances and associates is just going out, you have nothing else. Like, you have nothing else. If you have those friends that you guys can only talk when you are scheduling going out to shooters on Thursday or TWI on Thursday. If the conversation does nothing, if there's no motivation, if there's no support, if there's not, let's go have brunch. If the only time that y'all can talk about doing something is when you scheduling going out, like, you need to kind of second guess your group of friends, because that's just that's distasteful for women. For women, that's distasteful. I don't care how nobody look at it, how they think about it. I think it's just distasteful. Like, you need to reevaluate who you're dealing with and who you're coming on, because it's ridiculous.
So let's talk about what Dee asked. The second question: where can you go to meet your mate? If you're single and you're looking to mingle, where are some places that you can go and find somebody that you could have a date with, that you could have some coffee with, that you could hang out with? Where are some of those places? Please, Facebook, chime in. If you don't have an answer, please wave at us.
I want to see you guys answer too.
Yeah, we want to see your answer, but please, we like our podcast to be active. We got a lot of people on live, and I know you're watching, so just wave at us so we can shout you out.
Yeah.
Where are some places that you can go to meet people? We've X'd the club out. That we don't want to be that person.
Well, I mean, the club has been successful. You and I were successful.
Right.
I mean, Crystal just said she met hers in the club 5 years ago, so it's a success.
Church. Why does Dee say no to church? Dee, chime in. Why do you say no to church? Church is a place that you can meet somebody.
Here's the thing that I just wholeheartedly don't believe that women should. Let me just say this: there's nothing wrong with it. But when you're at the caliber of I want a husband, your husband has to seek you out. I just don't believe in women seeking a husband.
Now, you know, some women try to, just like you just said, some women, even though you want the guy to pick them, you try to position yourself to be picked. You understand what I'm saying? So
they do.
Even though you want them to go out and find, they say a man that find a woman or his wife find a good thing, you want them to pick you. But a lot of times women be shopping themselves by putting themselves in the way that he's going to go, or like you say, trying to be where you know he's going to be so you can be picked, trying to make some conversation, trying to make eye contact, kind of, giving them the goo eyes so that somebody can notice you so you can be picked. If you want it to be just natural, you don't want it to be...
It has to be organic.
Yeah, it has to be organic. That's a good word. Organic. You don't want it to be planned. Where can you go? So we said the club.
Mm-hmm. Crystal just says dating app.
Okay.
Dee says, hey, Shaquilla, she says, I chimed in just in time.
Those people, those dating apps, we'll go back and talk about that now.
Crystal says a dating app. Get on a dating app. And Dee say, I know everybody in the church. No, so don't... Okay, I have two. There's two sides. So as I said originally, I do think that in those that are seeking a husband, your husband should seek you out.
Okay.
To address what you just said about, that's what I said about the pick me people. You try to place yourself. It's that high school shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like when you walking down the hallway, you were like in the 10th, 8th grade or something like that, and you see your crush. So now you're going to try to walk with your booty out and maybe your chest out a little bit so they could just, and so you're going to be with your group of friends and y'all going to be talking loud and get your attention or whatever.
Yeah.
That is unattractive to a grown ass man. So let me just tell, those that are watching or those that got your friend watching for the show, let me just tell y'all, that is unattractive for a man.
To be doing too much.
While you're trying to get a man's attention by doing too much and being in the way and all over the place, that's unattractive. Nothing about that makes it attractive. I have always said there is something about a confident woman. There is something to say about a confident woman that does not have to open her mouth but still gain all the attention when you walk in the room. When you walk in the room and you say nothing,
you own the room.
And you own the room, that means everything. But when you got to be in there,
be all loud, be all extra,
talking, what's up, let's turn up. And I want to say, don't nobody want no mess like that.
I agree with that.
You're going to attract what you are. And so when you act like you're thirsty or you want to be picked, that's how you're going to be treated. They're going to treat you just how you... So I always say this. I used to be concerned about, especially people that I felt like was close to me. I used to be concerned that you letting this nigga bump your head. But I've had a conversation with just my friend that's on here. I had a conversation with her, and in that conversation, I said, listen, I can't do nothing about a motherfucker getting their head bumped. If you letting him bump your head, shit, you just need to have a concussion at this point, because that's all on you. But y'all seem to, it's a double-edged sword, because sometimes you'll say, oh, I don't want a relationship or whatever. But if the person that you're trying to get to pick you want to be in a relationship, you would take that. You would take because that's originally what you really want. However, you know, all you can get from that person is some yum bouncy bounce, very randomly. So you're just putting yourself in a position to be seen or to be thought or to be wanted, when in fact that's a turnoff. No man likes that. Like, nobody. And if they do, it's only because they're trying to screw up on you. That's just it. That's the God's honest truth. Nobody wants that. Nobody does.
So do we have anybody that's saying where you can go? Okay, so let's talk about if nobody's saying. Is anybody saying any place that you could go?
None. Shaquilla just say, hey. Shanitra just laughed. Shanitra also said thirsty. Facts.
Yeah.
Didi said she's yelling like what I just said. And then Shanitra says exactly.
So, dating app. Crystal said dating app.
Ooh,
I think dating apps are coming more popular, right?
They
Back
are.
in the day, you used to be ghosted. People would ghost you on these dating apps,
MySpace, baby,
right?
that was the bomb.
Yeah, but nowadays I talk to a lot of people who meet their mates on a dating site. I guess it depends how does that dating site says somebody said something funny?
Didi says yum bouncy bounce. Try to give me some. Okay.
So the dating app, you put your profile out there and you tell them some things about you, and then how do they match you? I don't understand
Tinder.
how.
So I think Tinder's
how do
like
they match
swipe
you?
left or right. So if you go on Tinder, what they say Tinder is, you go on Tinder, you set up your profile. It basically tells you people that are on there. So if you swipe right, you like the person and you show a common interest. I think if you swipe left, then you don't.
And so how do you show an interest based on the things that they've said about themselves?
Yeah, like when you set up the profile, you're basically saying, this is what I'm looking for. I'm a woman looking for a man, or a woman looking for a woman. These are my I don't want anybody to smoke. So they
Bunch of
basically
lies.
take your criteria and they match you based on that. Your matches are based on your profile and what you're looking for.
So if you say I like to swim, then I say I like to swim, they're gonna match us.
Yeah,
So
pretty
we
much.
basically
It's gonna
take
be a
our
commonality.
lies.
Yeah.
They're gonna take our lies because you're talking about yourself. You're more than likely you're probably lying and building yourself up to be more than what you are, and they match us. And so when I go on there, I say, okay, Shanetta, okay, she cute. She says she like to swim. She says she like to read books. She like to shop. All right. So what do you do when you're interested? You say left or right?
Yeah, I think if it's left, you don't use no. But if it's right, that shows a commonality.
And so when you swipe right, what does that send Shanetta?
It lets them know that you guys have a mutual interest.
Okay, and so if I swipe right to you, then you get a notification that okay, B Level has swiped right. So
Yeah.
then you go on and look at me and check out my stuff, right?
Yeah, that's how it works. I
And
think.
so we just start talking back and forth based on our
that's how it goes.
lies that we lied about each other at the
I
beginning,
guess so.
building
It
each
just,
other up.
Everything's out in the open, I guess. I don't know. But here, let me just, I don't recommend this dating app because I don't recommend it because people are getting killed. Like, there was a beautiful African-American young lady that got killed about a month ago. And her parents kind of going on to say that the guy that she was with last, so they was kind of through a dating app. So that I don't recommend. And let me just say this, women, put your pride aside and don't be afraid to show a man that you have interest. For some odd reason, y'all are just like, I don't want to do. That's what's so crazy, because you'll let them feel like you want to do the yum bouncy bounce, because if you feel like that's all they're going to get, you're going to get from them. However, you won't. You're too prideful to let a man know that you have some interest. I've seen people ask on social media, how do I let someone know that? How do I let a man know that I'm interested in them? Damn, you just have a conversation. Like, there's nothing wrong with expressing interest.
But
Now,
then you
I
just said a
disagree with that
minute ago-
proposing shit.
Okay, you just said ago you let a man find you though, right?
That's a husband. If you're seeking a husband, if you're
Okay.
seeking, you should never seek a husband. A husband is something that should be sought out. They sought out for you. You don't seek a husband. That's a problem.
Well, you got to
Y'all
get to the
choosing these
dating
niggas.
part to even be a husband. But you're saying, in one sentence, you're saying let a person pick you.
Okay.
But then in the next sentence, you're saying that if you're interested, go ahead and read your
It's
comments.
different though. Let's see. Shaquilla says, Yoda says left my ass. Shaquilla says dating app is too much work for me. Krista says, haha, Brian is crazy. Didi says, I'm too scared for a dating app. It's too many crazy folks out here. Shaquilla
That part.
says, I was on there 24 hours and I deleted the app. Why did you delete the app? Let me know
Shaquilla
what
did?
that's about.
Shaquilla?
Yeah. Tanka says, I got my guy here, Cortez C. King, want to join the show. He want to watch it. We having a watch party. Tell him, come on. Is he on now, Tank? Didi says, how do we tell the man we are interested? And she
Didi,
says,
you just say it.
She says, no, it's not that easy.
So going back to Charles, obviously you can't bring him on because we're here. Remember, we couldn't do that.
No, I think he's trying to. Tank, if he on the live currently, let us know what he wants to do. Crystal says, hold on, Shaquila, I guess she responded to Didi and says, I'm with you. Too many crazy folks out here, basically. And Crystal says, my friend met her now husband on a dating app.
I'm hearing a lot of people are going that dating app route. Mm-hmm. And it's becoming more popular. Back in the day, you would never do it because people would ghost you. They had a whole show
on
about
MySpace.
it.
MySpace.
I guess I did was on my MySpace. That was
back.
back.
Catfish.
Yeah, Catfish. So there was a whole show with these dating app and Catfish. They put in this lovely person, and this man got muscles, and he all built, and he brown skin. He got good curly hair, and then you meet this brother, and this dude he bony, and so the dating app can trick you. How do you authenticate who that person is?
It's the same thing. Like some dating apps won't let you get on if you're married. And some dating apps, basically, they ask you to provide pictures, pictures that are not pictures that's on the internet or something or whatever. And so that's why I used to watch Catfish. I'm like, how the hell y'all talk to somebody for 2 years and didn't know you was talking to Bow Wow? Because one girl thought she was talking to Bow Wow in real life.
Well, nowadays it's hard to catfish. You got iPhones, you can FaceTime me.
There's so many people were having those things too, and they still were getting caught up on Catfish. That was happening. People were still getting caught up on being tricked to being somebody else.
So I could literally put a picture up of Michael Jordan and say that this is who I am, and get someone interested because they like the way Michael Jordan looked, and that's not me. So that's why the dating app is so scary, because as I said, it's a bunch of built up lies. When you're telling people how you are, you're not going to tell them any bad things. You're going to tell them, great. I'm great with kids. I'm this, I'm that. And it's a bunch of lies. And so I'm like, you swipe left or you swipe right to just a bunch of lies.
So Didi asked, and I think that's an important question. Didi asked, how do you tell a guy that you're interested, right? So let me tell you something. Didi, I'm going to have to charge you for this advice, because this is my player card, and so you got to pay me. I need to make y'all do a subscription for $5.99 a month for all the player card rules.
You want to read your rest of them before you answer? Crystal just said something, right?
No, she didn't.
She didn't? Okay.
No. So anyway, it was the same thing I just read. So anyway, it is just a conversation which says, hey, yeah, I'm kind of interested in you. I like you. I like your vibe. I like what you're about. I like your swag. Let's have a conversation. What I have found to be more easier is when you do it in either a text message. That's just for me. I can initiate a conversation through text and or email or whatever, but and I can follow up in person, but in person, sometimes it's really difficult to do. So you have to do the method that works for you. If you're not comfortable doing it in person, you do it through text message, or you do it through Messenger, or you go old school, write a 4-page letter. I don't know.
Didi, is a clarification, is this some new person that you've never met and you're trying to tell this person that you're interested in them? Clarify that. Didi.
You just asked her. Yeah, so Crystal says she posted a real pics but lied about her name. They exchanged numbers and texts for a while and then finally met up, and they've been together ever since, married, and she's pregnant. Really, Crystal?
Was she afraid to meet the dude? I guess you meet him in a public place. You meet him in a place. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So that's how you get to be safe. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the dating app doesn't tell where you live. It doesn't tell personal information until you're ready to share those things, right? Mm-hmm. And so she lied about her name because she didn't want the guy to know her real name, so she's made up a fake name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's not too bad though. I mean, it's okay. I guess it works, but I don't know. As I said, don't seek out a husband. There's nothing wrong with seeking out a little dip every now and then. If you want to seek that out, hey, that's fine. It's a little dip. But what I have found to happen, as the Bible states, is that you can, when your husband seek you out as a wife, when you're probably going to have a more successful marriage, because it went in the direction it's supposed to go into. I also don't want you guys to understand or even think that you cannot express interest. There's nothing wrong with expressing interest in a man. I think that we've been taught to be pursued, but there's nothing. Men want to be pursued as well. They don't want to have to always make the first move.
True.
They want to be pursued, and they want to feel feel like, they're worth dealing with you. So there's nothing wrong with you having conversations with them or showing some interest to the man. That's fine. That's okay. Put your pride aside a little bit. Okay, so Dee Dee says, B Level, do men like women who approach them showing interest?
Yes. Yes, I agree with Shanetta. If you like somebody, you should say, I like you. If you want to go out with somebody, you should say, hey, what you doing, so-and-so, so-and-so, because, that person may be interested in you, but not knowing you feel the same way. And so they may be a little reluctant to approach you because they may think, oh, I can never get her, or she ain't interested. Mm-hmm. But if you share that you have some interest, not that you want to marry him or be with them, but hey, I would like to go out with you and let's go have dinner. Let's go kind of see, I want to see what type of person you is. I want to see if we vibing. It's all right, women, to state that and tell that to a man. Mm-hmm. You're going to mess around and you could possibly miss your husband because you're doing the shy guy role. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know what the shy guy is, don't you? It's all right to tell him, Dee Dee. I honestly think that you can. And, sometimes, like Shanetta said, you could send a text message. You could inbox people. Mm-hmm. There's so many ways that you could get your message across, and it doesn't have to be in person.
There's two conversations. I had two conversations. One conversation I had with a very close friend as of recently. And I just stated to her what you just said. What I said is that when you put yourself in a box and you're afraid to be vulnerable to the person that you like and or having feelings for, you almost kind of shoot yourself in the foot, because not saying anything could really kind of, as you said, you put yourself in a box and you're not giving them an opportunity to express if they feel the same way. Sometimes if we just speak up and say something, you'll probably be surprised as to what the response is from the person you have interest in. So understand. And then another conversation was with the previous acquaintance was, she kept putting herself in the friend zone. And I kind of said, stop friend zoning yourself because you really like this person. But now that you keep putting yourself in the friend zone, you've placed yourself there. So now you can't even get anything more because you've been saying to him, we're just friends, and you're accepting everything. Like, you really have to be, there's nothing wrong with, I think a lot of times what prevents women from doing this is rejection. Women do not like to be rejected.
I think nobody likes that.
I think men deal with it a little bit better, but women, because here's the thing.
We get told no all the time.
There's a biased sense of women aren't supposed to express interest to a man anyway, right?
Right.
So to now say that I've put my pride aside and I basically express how I feel about somebody and then they reject me too, that's a lot. So that prevents women from really just kind of being vulnerable to express how they feel. But what I also want you women the ladies to understand is that you could be missing out. You could be missing out on this person reciprocating that same feeling and emotion, or even greater, but they didn't feel the need to express it to you, or to be vulnerable because you've put up this shell and this hard thing like, I'm cool with whatever we have. When in fact, you're not cool with whatever you have because there's some underlying feelings, and that person can have those same underlying feelings, but because you chose not to put your pride aside and just go ahead and say it, now you've lost out on what could have been something great.
Right.
So, okay, so we have a few comments. Let's see what we got here. Crystal says, good question, Dee Dee. Shaquila says, where the single men at? Crystal says, Dr. Pepper need to give y'all a sponsor. And do, because I like them. We drink them all the time. Tank says, Dee Dee, yes, we do. And he's accurate. She says, we hate rejection. I know I do. That's
who said that?
Dee Dee says that women hate rejection.
And so that's probably why she's a little bit reluctant to say something to somebody that she's interested in, because she don't want to be told no.
Here's another thing too. When you really need to, not just women, men too. Women have, I think, a very stronger intuition than men do. But if you have some feelings for somebody, or there's a liking for somebody, if you've been around them, you can almost tell how this situation is going to go, right? Mm-hmm. But I think sometimes because you overthink it, sometimes because we overthink that we're going to be rejected or that I feel the same way, we overlook that they could really be feeling the same way I feel. But because I hadn't said anything, or because nothing, now it's just like, now I got to try to make assumptions. And so listen, assumption starts with three words. 3 letters, ass. Like, don't make an ass of yourself or miss out on something great because you don't want to put your pride aside. And to be very honest, you can pick up on, I believe in vibes. I believe in auras. I believe in just all of those things that you can basically almost tell. It's like if they have the same interest as you do. You really can.
I agree with that. I agree with that. But you have to have had some dealings or being around them in order to. If this is the first time, Dee Dee, that you've met somebody and you're attracted to them and you feel like they're cool, you might not know.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
But if this is somebody that you've known for a little while, that you've been around, they're going to show you signs. They are going to show you, some signs that let you know, oh, okay, I feel like, he'll be open to that or she'll be open to that. And so that's why you do a little homework, Dee Dee. Maybe you don't ask and maybe you don't go there until you around that person, enough to know if they're going to say yes or no. Maybe you just you do that thing that Shanetta say you shouldn't do. You go to the club Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, be around them, and then you might get some information in order to know if he will be open to going out to hang with you.
Yeah, and then another part of that got me, I guess that kind of scratched the surface of a little bit is that sometimes people want to think the worst of a situation just in case the worst happened. So
I'm not let down.
A lot of times they will say, well, I don't want to tell them how I feel because they're not going to want to date. So they ain't going to want to date me anyway. And you've already shot yourself in the foot because you're your own enemy. You're talking yourself out of voicing how you really feel. So when you talk yourself out of it, now you can't say anything. And so I think sometimes, especially those that are afraid of rejection, when you're afraid of rejection, you will make yourself lean more towards the less, you will lean more towards the less solution than something that could be greater. Like you would think you'll tell yourself, if I tell him I had feelings for him, it's probably going to mess up our friendship or relationship or whatever.
Right.
When in fact, it could be something different, but you've talked yourself out of it because you just thinking, I'm going to think the worst is going to happen just in case the worst happens.
So if the worst happened, I'm not
if the worst happens,
disappointed.
I'm not disappointed because I already thought that was going to happen anyway. But like I said, in fact, you could just be missing out on something that's greater. I believe that. I just strongly believe in being very boisterous in how you feel about things, people, and or situations, mainly because time can pass, things can happen. There have been people that dated people that has now gotten married and they still have feelings for this person because they chose not to be
missed an opportunity.
Yes, like they chose not to. So now this person has gone on with their lives because you've never been able to kind of come in and tell them that I still have love for you. I still want to be with you. I want to have something with you. You just kept this in and then y'all gone over to the side and now he's married to somebody else and you're just having some resentment and bitterness because you didn't voice how you feel about that person. And so that's what we call like a missed opportunity. It's just a missed opportunity. So don't do that. Let's see what we got here. Bo Lip says, yeah, you're right. B-Level, you going to mess around and miss a good nigga like Bo.
No, he was saying, yeah, you're right, B-Level, because you're going to mess around
and miss it. Oh, yeah. Okay. That's true, Bo Lip. I didn't read it like that. Yeah. He says, yeah. So, Chris is off topic. Who y'all got winning the NBA championship? Girl, let me see. Dallas.
Golden State, Crystal.
Let's see. Chris said Tina gonna kick your ass, Bo. Yo-Yo says Mavericks too. Me too. I think that too, Yo-Yo. Crystal said, Bolip says, Crystal, look here. He said yes. So Bolip, I do it.
Shout out to Bo.
There are so many missed men, missed relationships, missed opportunities because of rejection, just being afraid of rejection. And as I kind of stated earlier with the previous conversation, like this person basically friend zoned themselves, so now you can't even get out the friend zone. You can't even unfriend zone yourself because you keep placing yourself there. And so now if you verbalize that, okay, now I have more feelings in this friend zone, now the dude gonna say, because that's what I would say, nah, we had this agreement up front. Like you understood up front that this is what it was going to be.
And so if you sleep with somebody who y'all have agreed that we're just doing this because we're two grown people, we have no attachment to each other, we have no obligation to each other, we're friend zoning ourselves, then you can't be mad when you see me with somebody else.
You can't say nothing
because
else.
You've put yourself in a place that we're just friends. Mm-hmm. So you have no right to say anything.
Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
Before you gave it to me, we discussed this. We said we were friends. Friends have no obligation to each other. Period.
There's none. You cannot. If they come and sit on top of your head with somebody somebody of the opposite sex, ain't nothing you can say. There's nothing you can say because you have made it seem like you're comfortable. Here's what women fall guilty of. Most women. Now you'll find some women that has a male mentality, but most women, when they want to deal with a guy so desperately, they're willing to accept anything. They're
Right.
willing to accept whatever he gives. Whatever he
I've
gives
witnessed
me,
that. I've witnessed
whether
that.
it's a little bit of attention, whether it's what I believe to be behind closed doors, they gonna accept whatever. When in the back of their mind, they in love with this nigga. Like in the back of their mind, I'm in love with you and I have feelings for you. But now I know if I voice that I have feelings for you and I like you, it's gonna take away the little bit that you're giving me. So now I gotta keep myself there. When in fact that's why I say they just be bumping your head.
And I'll say this, and I hope I don't piss a lot of people off of women. These women out here are desperate.
They are desperate.
They will go for anything. And I tell all my single partners, I say, brother, you do not have to lie. If a woman likes you, she'll go for it.
That's true.
You don't have to meet a woman and say, I ain't dating nobody. I'm not hanging out with nobody. It's only you. Because if she likes you,
she gonna go for it
most
anyway.
people know the good things are wanted anyway. I look like a damn fool to say I ain't got nobody. I ain't talking to nobody. If I'm gonna say, what the hell wrong with you if nobody wants you? I don't want nobody that don't nobody want.
That's true. That's
So
true.
you don't have to lie. If you a man, if you a woman, but particularly men, because let's talk about it. There's 3 women to every guy around here, right?
Yeah, there is.
And
There
then there's very few good guys. So you could literally have 4 or 5 chicks around here if you just be honest.
Just
You
be on
don't
some
have
real
to
shit.
lie. You do not. You don't have to listen, Linda. Listen, Linda. You do not have to lie. You can be honest. Hey, I got 2 girls that I'm hanging out with. That has nothing to do with you. If you want to go out and hang out, I'm not obligated to them. We're dating. That's exactly what we're doing. We're dating. I'm not obligated to him.
Okay,
That has
we're dating.
nothing to do with Tina and Tamika.
That's true.
Hey, Sarah, if you want to go out, let's have a conversation about what you want to do, Sarah. Don't worry about Tina and Tamika. Obviously, Tina and Tamika ain't nothing. I wouldn't be going out with you. But you don't. Guys, you do not have to lie.
You don't have to
These
lie.
women will go for anything.
They do, especially when they're desperate, especially when they really want you. And that's another thing too. Like I'm not just on men or whatever because of course my husband, but y'all really don't understand the advantage that you have when you meet a bride that's really cut. When you meet somebody that really
that's a
want to deal with you.
Bad choice of words, isn't it?
No. When you meet somebody that really wants to deal with you or really wants to have something
go
with
for
you,
anything.
they gonna accept any and everything. So y'all really don't understand the advantage that y'all have in dealing with somebody that really likes you. Like they gonna go for whatever. It's sad, but they gonna go for whatever. They're gonna go for whatever it is
And
just
they're
to
always
get a
gonna
piece.
think that they can change you.
Yes,
They're
that's
gonna
another
say,
issue
hey,
too.
I'm gonna go for this friend zone when I know I ain't trying to be. I want to be somebody's wife. I'm trying to be somebody's
Absolutely.
girl. But I'm gonna take this friend because I'm gonna change his mind. Then you get mad 2 years down the line when you steady the friend. You still the friend
You
because
still the
you
friend.
thought that you could change him. Don't be trying. If you accept something at the beginning, you can't change the rules in the middle of the game.
That's for sure.
Keep the
So then let
same
me
rules.
ask you that then. I guess because you're a man, of course. So let's just say.
Yeah, I got something to prove that.
I know, baby, you do.
Okay, I do.
So let's just say that you have one of those casual situations because I think people go through that. Let's just say you're having a casual relationship with somebody. It has been in agreement, and I'll get my opinion too. So it has been in agreement that we're just going to casually be with
Date.
each other,
Right.
which means we're going to do the yum yum bouncy bounce.
Right.
There's no commitment. If I
Okay.
want to take you out to dinner, I might. If I don't, I don't. So that's the agreement up front. But as time passed, those things have changed. Most time it changed for the woman. Sometimes it can change for the man, but most
Right.
time it changed for the woman.
Right.
If someone voices that to you and it has changed the original terms of the agreement, is the contract now null and void?
I might re-sign a contract depending on what they say on the next deal. I might still be on some, nah, I ain't ready to go there with you. So it really depends on who that woman is. It depends on what she has to offer. It depends on how much I like her. It depends on a whole bunch of factors that goes into me deciding what I'm going to do. Okay. You cannot, I'll say this, most times when you buy a car, you cannot renegotiate that car in the middle of that contract.
That's it.
If you sign it for 5 years, you can't say, hey, my car note was $700. I can't afford that. I only want to pay $500. No, you signed
Unless
up
you
for
get a
five-
refinance.
You can refinance. Now, so if you're refinancing me, you can give me some options. Hey, this, and I might refinance you. I might.
What then is because then there will be when in refinancing, which means that we're
New terms.
We're new terms. We're just going to new terms. So you're saying it depends on the individual,
depending on the person.
It depends on other factors to decide what that's going to be.
Yeah, that's not a one question.
Can it be a turnoff?
It depends on how you handle it. See, if you whining and getting on my nerves, and it could be a turnoff. But if you come to me like a woman and say, you know what, 2 years ago I said that we were going to be friends. I'm kind of feeling you. I'm kind of feeling our situation. I'm hoping that you're feeling me. What do you think about renegotiating our contract? Mm-hmm. What are you thinking about taking our friend zone relationship and going into a committed relationship? Because we grown. Yeah. I'm going to say, nah, I like the friend. Or I might say, you know what? I was thinking the same thing. But once again, you have to communicate that. You have to be honest about what you want. And I really applaud the women that do that. Don't be in the friend zone and you don't want to be there. So at some point in time when you are friend zoning yourself, but when you start to get serious, don't get mad. You have to, hey, that guy may say, I want to keep you in the friend zone. So you have to decide when it's not beneficial for you being friends. You might decide you have to just leave.
That's true.
I want more than just a friend. Mm-hmm. Sometimes feelings change, especially when you're doing the yum bouncy bounce. Those things change. So just be honest about what you want. When you know you want something different, it's all right to try to get the vehicle refinanced. Your credit might not be good enough to refinance the vehicle.
Oh, that's what Shanice was laughing at. She's like, refinancing. And Retta said that the devil is a lie. That goes both ways. Okay, my opinion and such. So, you got
about 15 more minutes, though.
So in my opinion and such, the Lord has blessed me to be in a position to where I am in control of those situations with myself. Like, every woman can't sit in the driver's seat. There are women that just cannot drive situations and/or relationships. As bad as it may sound, like that's something that my mama instilled in me. As long as you have Sally, you are in control of every situation. So I am always going to be in control of this. So let's just be very clear. Men also need to understand that women can be casual with them and there's no feelings attached. There's far and few women that can do that. That's very far and few women that you'll find that's okay with having an intimate relationship and that's it. That's a handful. Like seriously, it's a handful of women. But you cannot start off with this agreement because I have a different mentality. Sometimes I have a guy mentality. My mentality is if we have this agreement and you come with something different other than that, and I'm just not receptive to it, I'm just gonna cut you off completely.
But that's that you said the magical word. If you're not receptive to it, because you might be in that spot of okay, I'm ready to take this to the next level. That there's no guarantee. You said the magical word. If I'm not receptacle to it, you could be open to it if you've moved past, the friend zone. But they have to they have to tell you. They have to give you an opportunity to decide either I want it or I don't want that.
Man, listen, I'm telling Shell said, yes, Shanetta and Stewart. Listen, I'm just saying this we got the same blood. So let me just say this. Y'all, listen. Y'all have to I was talking to my friend the other day, and Retta, I hope you
got a lot of friends.
I know, no, I don't have a lot of friends, and you don't know that.
Is this the same friend?
Yes, but listen, I was talking to her the other day, and I said this: a man can tell you, Retta, I need you to be off of here. A man can tell you, yes, a man can tell you all day long that you have some good stuff, right? A man can tell you to boost your ego, say you have the best in the world, whether it's the top or the bottom. The way that you determine if you really have the best in the world from the top or the bottom, it has everything to do with if you're in control of that situation. Because let me just say this.
Control of the relationship?
The situation. If you have the best of the top and the bottom, you will know by the behavior that you're getting from that person. If he just telling you that to stroke your ego, that means your stuff is garbage. Because he's not wanting anything other than what. Listen, when guys get to speaking, and babe, you can agree or disagree. When guys get to speaking of a woman in a sense of now possibly wanting to change the terms, That's how you know you got something going. Like, and at that moment, when it's not you bringing it up, it's him bringing it up. Like, hey, what we doing here? Or they be like, you messing with me, you can't mess with nobody else. Or they be like, listen, where you at? I called you. When you get that type stuff, when you get those things, and when they want to choke the hell out of you, that's when you know you got some great top and bottom. But baby, if you sitting right in front of his face and y'all at the club, and he don't take you home with him, that's a bad sign. You don't have no good stuff.
You need to work on it.
He don't want to get none of your stuff no more. So I'm just saying, like, look for those signs and things. Don't let somebody stroke your ego by words, and now you walking around here feeling like you got the best juice box in the world, when in fact he bypassed you. When somebody bypass you and they have the opportunity to get some and they don't take it, that's not good. You need to pray about that. You need to pray. Baby, you need to pray about it, because I'm just telling you, like, we have very strong women in our family, and so the strong women in our family has given us the keys and the tokens and the things we need in order to be able to control our situations. And so I'm not saying that Sally is a sense of solicitation or prostitution. However, you drive that boat, but if you're unable to drive that boat, then you just need to just go to Cupid's or somewhere and find something that's gonna work, because what you're doing right now ain't working.
We got 5 minutes and then we close. Do you have any closing
Shell just gone. Shell, let me just. She says 100, and Shaquila says killing myself laughing. So Shell, okay, we asked earlier. I think you went on. So we asked earlier, Shell, where are some good places to find your mates?
You got 5 minutes, Shell. 5 minutes if you can chime in.
She said, get out the seat. But tell us, Shell. I need you to tell us some places. 2 things we have.
And what they said is dating app, clubs,
and what else?
church.
Yeah.
Those are 3 places that we come up with.
And then, Shell, we also asked, is there such thing as women going out too much in the nightlife? Shell said church. Shell, you date somebody in church. If you find somebody at church, how do you scope out somebody at church?
Same place you scope them out at the club.
While they shouting, you just be like, Lord have mercy.
You doing the Google out and looking across to the same thing you're doing at the club.
You just look at them like, Lord have mercy.
It's the same thing. You
Lord, go to like how he speak in tongues.
You go to one place Saturday morning, you go to the next one Sunday morning, Saturday night, Sunday morning. So I mean, it is what it is.
Shell says she at church and out of town. She said, yeah, somebody speaking in tongues, you'd be like, let me tell you something. He know how to speak in tongues really well. That's what they say.
Wow.
Ain't ready to tell me so I can go. Ain't ready, you want to know what church to go to?
Ain't rather. Come on, ain't rather. You ain't trying to find nobody. Ain't rather. Come on.
Listen, y'all have to know. We're getting ready to do. Normally, we do our panel. We do our live panel probably midway of our season. So the next one will be our 6th episode. We'll be traveling a lot. Crystal says Shell met Maurice at the church. No, she did. Crystal Dawn. So anyway, next week will be our 6th episode, and that'll probably be our midway point. So we will start planning our panel. Let me just say this. If you have not attended our live panel, make sure you attend the live panel. It's way more interactive than social media. It is a hoot within itself. It's kind of one of those, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. What we talk about, do, and or discuss is just kind of amongst those that are in the audience and those that's on the live panel. If you're interested in being on the panel, make sure you reach out to myself or Brian. Normally we talk about, I think once before we did a live panel, and it was those that were couples and married, right? And then we kind of conjoined, because I actually had a chance to sit with single guys on the show, and Brian kind of did single women on the show. So we had another panel where we just had all the single people together, and then we had another one where we just had a married couple, a couple that were dating extensively, myself and Brian, of course, married, and then we had 2 single people. So we'll kind of think.
Shell was one of the single people.
Yeah, Shell was one of the single people. So we'll kind of think of the dynamics of this panel, but you guys really are the reasons why we keep going back doing this. Of course, we have a very busy lifestyle. However, we take time to do this just because you're always kind of asking about it. So if you want to be on our live panel, which should happen maybe after our 6th episode, inbox myself or inbox Brian so you can be a guest on the show. It's really dope. It's really, really dope. We kind of gonna have it at the club, babe, right?
Yep.
It will be at the club, and so invite your people that want to come out.
We'll give you a date. We'll give you a date next week.
We'll give you a
next
date.
week. We'll give you a date.
So, what'd you say, Shell? Shell said, what do our ladies we do? Yeah, so we'll get you, Shell, we'll get you back on a panel too.
Yep. All right. If you want to be a sponsor, we're wrapping this thing up. If you want to be a sponsor, how do they sponsor?
You can do both. As I just said, so you can message myself or message Brian, and she said, "Send guys with Brian." Aw, y'all just listen. So anyway, so you can message myself or him, or you can send us an email at stewart.lovewins@gmail.com. Again, the email address is Stewart, spelled STEWART.lovewins@gmail.com. Look, Tank says Cortez says he want to be on the show. He's single. Tell him to inbox Brian, and is he your Facebook friend, baby?
But he's still gonna inbox me.
Yeah, tell him to inbox. Does it come to your thing?
Yeah.
Okay, tell him to inbox Brian so we can get him set up on the panel. But yeah, so email, send us at stewart.lovewins@gmail.com as it relates to sponsorships. So what we basically asked for you guys to do, and we hadn't really done them, I guess, in the last couple of weeks, so we've been kind of filming from home. But what we asked you guys to do, if you want to advertise on the sponsorship, it will be like at the beginning of our podcast and then also at the end.
Yeah, you too.
We just asked that you send us the business name, business information, where you could be located, where your contact information, and also talking points you would like us to have in order to do your sponsor. We have great viewings. As you guys see, we do it. And this is of course, YouTube is a more national platform. You can go on any of our podcast channels. Any of our podcast apps to listen to our show,
right.
Love Wins by Stewarts.
Right.
And I think that's it. Yep. Oh, yeah. Make sure I'm a live kind of thing when I do sponsorship. So I told y'all, if y'all want to have me some barbecue or something I can taste. But anyway, so just make sure we have a very live interactive panel. YouTube, of course, is a national thing. All of our podcast channels, social media, we always go live on my page and my husband's page.
And we can come and broadcast from your restaurant. We
yes.
can come and broadcast from your facility. We can go on the road. We can take our show on the road. Mm-hmm. So we can broadcast in your facility if you'd like that.
Yes, and guys, he doesn't know that. Well, we've talked about this like the last year. So Brian and I are working on we just need to kind of put it more in motion. We're working on a conference, kind of relationship conference. So it's those that are, married and in a relationship and single as well. So I sometimes when we say relationships, I think you guys think that it's just for those that are married and in a marital relationship. But no, there can be some valuable information that's provided to you for your future mate, someone that you're dating or whatever. So it will be for all genres of people. It would be those that are married, single, divorce, dating, whatever. It's going to be a very cool conference. We may have limited guests for just so many different reasons, but because again, when we kind of speak in intimate moments, our intimate moments are things that we ask not to be shared outside of the group of things. So because we want people to be comfortable. So if you're interested in attending that as well, send one of us an inbox.
All right.
Crystal said, what's next week's topic going to
be? Tune in next week to see, Crystal. You got to get on earlier. Shout out again to, Sheila's on here. Shout out to our nephew, Maurice Hollister Jr. He graduated last night from North Little Rock all this week. This Saturday, we're going to be so happy. Our son, Jaden, is graduating. Big ups by guy Jaden. He is graduating Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. So we're going to be very, very busy. And then we've got basketball with Randy. Shout out to the Mavs Elite 2. They're having a big tournament as well.
Yes.
All right. I think that's it. Hey, if you please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to if you go and you search us on any podcast, please subscribe to us, okay?
Yes.
All right. Now, we'll go back to next Tuesday. Today is Wednesday. We normally do this on Tuesday at 7.
Yes.
We had graduation last night. So next week, we're back at Tuesday. Tell a friend about our podcast. This is Love Wins by the Stewarts. We'll see you next week.
Thank you guys for
Peace
joining.
out.
Bye.